Hi, my name is Daniel Paddock, and I'm from upstate New York. I am also a graduate student here at GCU. I'm currently enrolled in the Master's in Secondary Education program with an emphasis in humanities, with intentions of becoming a high school history teacher. A major part of the Arizona State Constitution is the initiative and referendum procedures. The basic definition of an initiative is when citizens draft proposals and are voted on by the citizens. The basic definition of a referendum is when the legislature drafts proposals and it is voted on by the citizens. These procedures give the citizens of Arizona an active role in the decision-making of the government. There are two initiative procedures, which are constitutional initiatives and statutory initiatives. They are largely the same, except for a couple of things. There are two stages in initiatives. The first is the petition stage, and that begins when an initiative is triggered when any registered voter drafts a proposal. This proposal is on a form that is given to them by the Secretary of State. After the proposal is drafted, the Secretary of State files it, and it is then sent for circulation for signatures. The petition can be circulated for signatures for up to 20 months. Depending on which initiative procedure is being carried out, the minimum amount of collected signatures is either 15% of the voters or 10% of the voters. If the required amount of signatures is reached and the Secretary of State validates it, the initiative then enters the second stage, which is known as the ballot stage. The initiative will then be on the next ballot during the very next general election for the voters to vote either yes or no to. A constitutional initiative is one that aims to amend the state constitution. This procedure requires a minimum of 15% of the voters' signatures to move the initiative into the ballot stage. Statutory initiative is one that aims to add, eliminate, or change everyday laws. This procedure requires the collection of 10% of the voters' signatures to move that initiative into the ballot stage. Both procedures are drafted by citizens and voted on by the citizens. There are three referendum procedures. The first is the constitutional referendum, which is when legislatures propose bills to be voted on by the citizens. These referenda are proposals to amend the state constitution. The proposed amendment appears on the next general elections ballot once it is approved by the Arizona state legislature. The second referendum procedure is the statutory referendum by legislative referral. This procedure is when the legislature proposes an addition, elimination, or alteration to everyday laws, which is then voted on by the citizens at the next general election. This referendum can also be sent directly to the governor. This is done for a couple of reasons. One is that some proposals can anger citizens, such as a proposal for taxes or something along those lines. Another reason is for a quicker and less expensive way to possibly enact a proposed legislation. Third reason is in case of counteracting an unfavorable initiative, as well as some other reasons. The third referendum process is statutory referendum by citizen petition, or popular referendum. This is a procedure where the people can attempt to repeal a bill that has already been passed by the legislature and the governor. Any registered voter can trigger this procedure by circulating a petition and collecting signatures of 5% of the voters. If the minimum amount of validated signatures is collected, then the measure is put on hold until the next general election, when the voters can vote to approve the measure or not. This procedure can be carried out for all proposed measures, except for laws with emergency clauses, laws necessary to the support of the government, and new tax laws. The existence of initiatives and referendums allows for more power to the people. These processes do have pros and cons that come with them, though. Some of the cons include initiatives in Arizona require one of the highest minimum amount of collected signatures. Some proposals take campaigning to gain momentum, resulting in them to be expensive at times. Wealthy people, businesses, unions, corporations, etc. can all heavily influence measures being campaigned, passed, or not, to their advantage through their excess of money. Since the citizens are left to their own devices in drafting initiatives, they can sometimes be poorly written. It is not clear how many times the legislature has changed its course or repealed a proposal before it could even reach a ballot at a general election, and that's just to name a few. Some of the pros for each include arguably the most obvious one, which is that the citizens are directly involved in legislation and how the law of the land works. Popular referendum is always on the legislature's mind, since there's always that threat of the citizens killing a bill. These can attract more voters to take part in elections. Any efforts to limit the citizens' power in these areas has largely been suppressed. The legislature or the governor cannot veto any measure that has been voted on and approved by the citizens. Citizens are essentially legislators due to their powers in the lawmaking process, and that's just to name a few of the pros. One of the most important pros of initiatives and referendums, though, is that they cause a more direct democracy in the states that do allow them. The common people are able to limit wealthy people's and businesses' influence in government, since in many places, wealth and politics enjoy a great relationship. The citizens having a say limits this. Due to more direct democracy, the citizens, their needs, and their concerns are hardly overlooked. Those typically with less power and say in society are unable to have a voice. The relationship between government officials and the people is a healthier one, since both sides work alongside each other and they check each other. The existence of initiatives and referendums in Arizona and states alike provide citizens with a great advantage and opportunity due to there being a more direct democracy. Places with direct democracy are truly by the people and for the people. Thank you.